need to chuff off at any point, you can definitely, we've got the recording ready to go, which we should put up probably within a couple of hours of this finishing up. So let's get things kicked off. In 22 HubSpot user group. I'm just going to share my screen just to get things kicked off. All right. Get some thumbs up. We can see that. A-okay. Yep, I'm going to go full screen there just so it doesn't look too weird. Perfect. Yep. Nice. So first things first, to kick things off, we're actually very organized, thanks to Cam. We're actually, the next hug we've got is the 6th of October, which is on a Thursday, and we're catching up with AJ directly from Message Media. Now, there's a lot of people that use Message Media, and there's a lot of people that haven't really touched into SMS and using SMS marketing and SMS automation inside their sales, inside their HubSpot account. So we're actually going to catch up with AJ directly from Message Media. We're going to really deep dive into some feature use cases that we could use for SMS, and also be able to sort of demonstrate some of that in there as well. We've got some results specifically when it comes to sales when using SMS. So if you guys are using SMS and want to become better at it, or you're not using SMS at all and you want to start using it, I recommend definitely tuning in for this one. So it is going to be Thursday, the 6th of October, roughly around 10 or 11, same time as this one as well. So looking forward to it. AJ is a legend. And AJ actually used to work at HubSpot directly, now works at Message Media. So looking forward to that one. Kicking up, so the Inbound 22 recap, the new features that we've got. So as you can see, here's a photo of what it looks like with the lights on. At the moment, the lights are all off because we're sort of pushing past 9 o'clock at night, and the cleaners are all in here. But myself, Geordie, and Jacinta managed to fly over and basically have a bit of a run around. We'll be putting up a bunch of photos and videos on our Instagram account. If you wanted to follow that, just to sort of see what's going on, I think the handle's nbh.co, which is our website address. Pretty easy to remember. We'll also be putting a lot of stuff up in the socials as well. So before I get going, HubSpot always likes to put the looking forward statements. This looking forward statement basically says that these are the ideas that they're putting into motion. Sometimes it won't always turn out exactly what they're planning to do. So a lot of this stuff that they're going to say is in what they intend to do, but sometimes things change, so they might actually change it up. So that's just a bit of I guess, a disclaimer before we get things kicked off. So they really sort of moved around sort of three main pillars, I think, in this inbound. The first one is really about the disconnection with the actual customers, and then basically wanting to have a connected platform that you could go ahead and connect with your customers due to COVID and obviously working from home and whatnot. So really what they're trying to do, I guess, in this next 12 months is really have a connected platform that isn't really disjointed. Sure, you could say that HubSpot is definitely connected in a lot of ways, but you'll see from these, they're actually making it a little bit easy to do things, which we probably get things kicked off around the commerce side of things. Now, I did say before that some of this is only available in the US. I was going to bin it and not put it in here, but I thought it might be pretty good to actually just keep it, in there, just because I think it's pretty good to get a bit of an idea of what's going to be coming to I guess, Australia in the next couple of months, I assume. So first things first, payment schedules. So if you are using the quotes tool and deals as well, you can go through there and you can actually set the actual the quote up, and then you can actually set the payment schedules on when payments are meant to be due, which is really, really good. Great for us here at Neighborhood as well, but I know for a lot of our clients that we work with, there is a lot of use cases for this and when things are due. That works out really good when HubSpot Payments comes in. At the moment, it's not currently available with HubSpot Payments, or if they accept the quote, it will take the payments at that point. I do foresee that coming into reality, I guess, within the next sort of 6 to 12 months in the US, that's for sure. Next one, payments in meetings. So sometimes if you guys are having meetings specifically, you're actually able to attach the HubSpot payments to the meeting link itself. Therefore, you're only allowed to book that person if the payment is made. So it will go through successfully. So that is a really, really good one if you are using that sort of feature yourself. Next one is payments in email. Again, I will do the caveat that it is the US only, but they are rolling that out. They have sort of told us they are moving that out and rolling it out pretty soon across countries. But much like a CTA, you're able to drop down and select payments and what kind of payments that is for specifically, and then actually go through and actually transact that through email, which will essentially go to a landing page as well. Next one is payments in meetings, payments in emails. I think this is a bit of a given. Our good friends at Deposit Fix is what we use at the moment, but they're actually going to be bringing in payments into forms so that you're able to use credit card and also direct debit formats into that as well, which is pretty good. And Geordie's just joined us. Thank you very much after that little track. The next feature as well is QuickBooks Online Sync as well. So you're able to, if you are using QuickBooks specifically, I think it's QuickBooks Online, you're able to reconcile directly HubSpot payments from HubSpot payments into QuickBooks Online as well, which is really, really good. Again, available in the US, but soon will be coming to other parts of the world. So that's the, I guess, the commerce side of things. If we look into the operations hub and more sort of like using of developers, what we're able to do here is the data sync for commerce for products specifically. So if you are using QuickBooks, if you are using integration, there are 20 other apps that you can use to sync your product library. And that might also work as well to be able to quantity and also pulling certain things into quotes, etc. Data sync improvements for health. So if you are using, if you are data syncing, you've got sort of operation hubs, starter, pro, or enterprise. If you are syncing with third-party platforms, it will actually go through and tell you if the data that's coming across has been any good or not, and it will give you flag. So it's pretty good. I think what they're trying to do this year is make sure if data is coming in or data is getting managed internally, if anything is a bit of conflict, it will just sort of let you know just to make sure that all the data inside your CRM is 110%. Development sandboxes. This has been in beta. Some people that we've worked with are currently using this, but this is in public beta now, which is pretty good. So development sandboxes means that you're able to put together, whether it be within the CRM, CMS, but basically build it so that it's not conflicting with your current live data inside your CRM, which is pretty good. Let's double check to see if we've got any questions. Have we got any questions? Cool. No questions. I'm just going to click back and forth because I'm not on my usual screen. Cool. All right. So GitHub integration as well. For those that are using development, we can basically go through and integrate the GitHub integration. We can track the code base for what people are actually building inside HubSpot CMS. Helpful for those that have got complex builds as well. I know Jessica just recently had one who's joining us today from the fitness network. But this way you're able to go through and developers are specifically able to jump in and find out what problems are or collaborate with teams as well. So that's a big one for the developers out there. The CRM card builder, this is probably another one for the developers. But on the right-hand side, sometimes if you get apps installed, you can see down the right-hand side that you're able to interact with those. We're able to do that without, at the moment, if we're to do it, we actually have to code it and use the API. In this instance specifically, you can actually have a user interface that you can build what that card looks like and actually build it within the HubSpot UI, which is really, really great too. If you don't know too much about that, don't stress too much. It's for those developer heads out there that have to do that specifically off-site and bring it back in. So another one, but we do get to the juicy sales and marketing stuff shortly. Debugging, again, if we need to debug or understand where things aren't happening or potential errors with data or anything along those lines, we're able to have a debugging area where we're able to find out and fix out specific errors too. So that moves into data management and data quality features, which is a bit of a roll on to where they're wanting to make sure that that connected software is all sort of working perfectly. Probably notice that your CRM data might not necessarily have or be exactly as clean. Like everybody that we work with definitely doesn't have a clean CRM in any way, shape or form. So they're trying to actually use AI and a bunch of stuff to actually make sure that that's working 100%. Moving through, so whenever you import data, whether that be contacts, deals, or anything of that matter, you're able to go through and find out what the errors are specifically before that's imported. Now, if for those that are doing importing at the moment, what will happen usually is that it will go through and it will import into HubSpot and it will tell you that there's 300 errors. So you're not actually able to like fix it before it goes in. In this instance, you're actually able to go through and you're able to go ahead and fix those errors specifically before that goes in, just to make sure 100% of the data that does go into the CRM is clean and not missing big holes. Probably one of my favorites is property validations. So some instances where, say, for example, if you're creating a property and it might be a postcode property. Now, you don't need any more than 4 numbers in a postcode. In here in America, it's 5. But in there, here, you're actually able to set parameters on how long specific properties need to be and what format they are as well. So you can actually go into the property and set to say, if it is a number property for postcode, you could say it can only be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 for the first letter, but it can only be 4 numbers in total as well. So that way, it just makes sure that the data that comes in is a little bit more clean. This one here is available for all Operation Hub Pro customers and anything above as well. So that will just make sure that you guys are keeping a nice clean database when people are putting inputs into forms, or you are actually inputting stuff through the import tool as well. It's a lot of stuff to talk about. I don't think we're even halfway even. So the data model overview. So probably a big one for those that are doing initial builds or potentially moving on to HubSpot specifically is that the data model overview is that sometimes we don't get really good overview of exactly what properties and what objects are there, if they're new objects or custom objects or how they're sort of interacting back and forth. There's a visualization tool that will allow you to see which objects are there and which properties that sort of within those objects and how they're talking to each other. Again, it's meant to give you a very high overview and a visualization of exactly how they're sort of talking within each other. So it just helps you get a better idea about your data as well. Finally, the custom object builder. Now, for those that have built custom objects just for enterprise customers, in the past, you'd have to get an API and build a custom objects, which I never really quite understood. Very, very annoying. Some partners like a website that you can just plug in all the data and put in and connect it up to your HubSpot account. Finally, I guess within the HubSpot UI, you're actually able to build the custom object in there without having to do all that funny business. I don't know why it's taken so long. I think it's been how long? Maybe 1.5 years, 2 years, in which custom objects have been available. So surprise, surprise, it is now available. It should have been there 2 years ago, but it is now there available. So for those enterprise customers that need to use custom objects, that's now available to be built in the HubSpot UI as well. The data quality command center. Now, for those playing at home, you probably see if you go into your contacts, you'll probably see there's a beta in most of your accounts that would say beta data quality at the top right-hand side. Now you're able to get an overview of the data quality in all of your objects, properties, contacts, records, deal cards, and it will just basically give you an overview. And it will actually start sitting there and start doing things like capitalization for first name and last names. It will do recommendations that if it's, someone's name is admin, it will say, hey, that's not correct. So it will give you those recommendations. Quite similar to when you have the duplicates, and if you get duplicate information, it kind of gives you that same sort of level of understanding. So this will be available. It's currently in public beta. I will tell you a bit of a tip. If you want to get into the betas, I will show you a little tip towards the end of this as well, how to enroll yourself to public betas, whether it be just yourself or the whole business. It's a cool new little tool that's come out as well. But this is available for Operations Hub Professional and Enterprise, which is good too. So the data quality automation recommendations, this is kind of going on to what I said before last time. It's sort of using AI-powered formatting recommendations. Like I said, capitalization names, first name, last name. It'll do recommendations, whether that first name or the last name is the right way around. It would say delete. If it's just like Travis, it will say, well, Travis is kind of known to be a first name. Should you delete the last name? Just things like that as well. Also, if there's only like one letter, if some people are entering forms in, you're able to go through and it's going to make those recommendations and automate them for you, which is pretty cool. Operations Hub and Enterprise customers too. Then they look at, so we've got a connected CRM there. They're looking at connected applications. So this is the second pillar that I sort of spoke to you about. Just check to see if there's any questions. I'm just going to, is there any questions, I guess, on that first part that we had? It's a bit of a speed round. Yes, Tim, the custom object, again, I don't really understand why the custom object took so long to actually get created. It was a little bit annoying, but I'm pretty stoked that it's now within the HubSpot UI. So that first block, we'll step into the next one just now. I'll just keep talking. it's getting late. All right, I'll move to the next module. All right, so connected applications. Oh, we got a question. Yeah, awesome. What I'll do, Tim, as well. What we'll do is Cam, who should be all the way back in Australia. I think he's running the chat at the moment. Hopefully, he'll attach this presentation to that as well, so you guys get a copy of it. I will also put a URL. Cam, are you able to put into the chat the hubspot.com/new URL? That's it, www.hubspot.com/new. That page there has all of the updates that we're talking about as well today. Just a little bit more detail as well. You've also got a few more sort of slides. There is a bit more information in this slide deck because this is the slide deck that we got directly that was actually spoken up on stage. So we'll make sure that we get that over to you as well. Connected applications. So the CMS Hub, a lot of updates for the CMS Hub actually, for those that are running their website on HubSpot. So if you haven't heard it about 1 million times from us and every other partner and every single social media channel, is that HubSpot now has a free available tier that you can run your HubSpot on for absolutely free. I think it is 50 pages. Yeah, it's a lot. It's 50 pages. You get like a logo on there, a HubSpot built with HubSpot. But again, you don't have to pay a cent. Personally, I think running on HubSpot is a lot easier than your WordPress ones, that's for sure. You are limited in regards to the themes and what you can do, but then you can move to the starter, which is about, what is it, 30 bucks, 35 bucks or 40 bucks a month. So my recommendation, if you are on WordPress and you have been a WordPress company for a while, definitely check it out. I know potentially, again, I'm sorry for having to always hammer on you, Jess, but I think Jess Bryant in the chat has recently moved from WordPress to the HubSpot CMS, so you could probably ask her a bunch of questions as well. So cool. So that's available to all CMS users, and you're able to try it out now. It's now live in your HubSpot account. GraphQL in CMS Hub. Now, for those that are playing at home, that's definitely more of a coding thing, but what we're able to do is inside HubSpot on a web page is we're able to index that's inside the HubSpot CRM and display it on the actual web page. For example, login screens, and you can have your face details, and that person can update their own details. It's pretty huge. Or say, for example, if you're a plumber and you basically have a portal for your customers to log into, it can show you the current job, how much it's been quoted for. You can get them to approve it. You can attach the quote to it. It actually starts to really open up a lot of things that you can do when you're looking at sort of like a logged in area and actually displaying relevant information that's inside your CRM. We've just completed a project. I think Dom back in Australia just completed a project, and I know that Cam is working on a pretty detailed case study at the moment in regards to that. So we'll release that, I think, coming at the end of this month, and how we've used GraphQL, I think, with building a website and displaying that specific information. So quite revolutionary and quite pretty hardcore. You do need a developer for all this sort of stuff, but I did have a meeting with the head of the CMS, Luke Summerfield. He sort of did mention that a lot of user-friendly tools will be coming out when we look at sort of knowledge bases and things like that, that we're able to use templates and customize those things as well. So this is all very sort of developer heavy at the moment, but it will move to a more user-friendly platform in the coming months or year. So pretty exciting. Then we look at the CRM customization. So when we, oops, that was a bit quick. Sorry about that. So we're able to use the board card configuration. So when we go through, we're able to, on the cards, now I think most of you, I don't know whether you know this or not, but on the actual deal card itself, tickets or anything of that matter, you're able to, it's always been about amount and close date on those cards. You can change that now completely. You can have up to 4 different types of information sitting on that deal card there at the moment. So 2 seconds, 1 moment. Okay, sorry about that. So we're able to configure the actual deal card information or the tickets and have up to 4 different properties showing on those deal cards specifically. So it's good. The record overview as well. So this one here is, which one is this one again? Pro customers, the layout, which properties are shown in metrics on activity cards. So this one here is a kind of a bit of a new one, and this is sort of like a little bit like a dashboard report of the actual record overview. So specific to deals, contacts, or tickets or anything of that matter. It actually gives you a bit of an overview of how those records are going and how the growth of those are specifically in the metrics. I think there's a, go back here. What I'll do is I'll give you an example. There was an image that they showed on the actual dashboard here that I'll give you an example of what that looks like. It just gives you a bit of a dashboard of how I guess that object or those records are performing over that sort of period of time. So I'll try and grab one. If I can't grab one before we nearly get kicked out, it sounds like we're nearly getting kicked out. I'll make sure I get a copy of that for you guys as well. The record custom tab as well. So if you kind of look at the very, very top, you'll see calls, emails, and the tabs of the actual card. You're able to actually create a new custom tab specifically and actually house specific information about that record in there as well. So you're able to pull specific information specifically on that, which is really good. Is everything okay? Oh, okay, there are questions. Sorry. This is a bit backwards. Inbound security is after me. We got any? Is there any questions? It doesn't look like there's any questions. All right. Oh, is there a Q&A at the top? No, there's no questions. Sorry. Continuing on. So we're able to have a custom record, custom tab at the very top and actually house specific information about that record across all of that. So for example, you might be able to pull in specific reporting information about a contact in that tab there, and that will be universal across all of those contacts that come across as well. So that's good. Marketing Hub, finally. So marketing campaigns, there's been a massive, just a massive influx of updates for those specifically on the marketing campaigns. So that's actually live in there. Probably one of the most underutilized tools I think that we've got inside HubSpot, but they've done a really great job how that works and how the association works. On our YouTube channel, we've just done a bit of an update on how to do the marketing campaigns inside your HubSpot account. So I believe that is live, available to Marketing Hub, Professional, and Enterprise. I suggest that if you are doing a campaign specifically, create a campaign and tag all your assets, and you'll see how that is being affected, how many deals, how many leads, how much money you've spent, and then use the side drawer pane to actually have conversations with your team around the performance of those campaigns specifically. If you're not using marketing campaigns, I suggest you start using it because it's a very, very good tool, and they've basically worked a lot on it. So yeah, check it out. Finally, the WhatsApp integration, probably one of the most awaited ones that we've been waiting for. It's currently in private beta, but I will show you how to get access to that just at the end of this. A little bit of a secret there, George. Bit of a secret, mate. Integrate WhatsApp and have conversations in your WhatsApp business account with your customers. That's actually pretty huge when you think about it. I know in Australia, we probably don't necessarily use WhatsApp business as much as a lot of other regions, but I know Asia is a really big one. But does anyone remember how many people are using WhatsApp. It's like hundreds of millions of people so definitely. Could you help me with this, Teams? Yeah, a lot of people, millions of people are using it. So that's coming through. It's a private beta. So what we'll do is I will show you how to do that shortly. Moving through, this is a pretty big one. I think that the customer journey analytics was a pretty massive one. I don't know if there's again, I'll get another image of what that looks like, but there's basically what it will do journey from first touch all the way through. And there's a visualization guide that they've got to, hang on. Yeah, it's not sticking. There's a visualization map, I think, that they've got that shows that where a majority of people have come through and actually purchased. If you use Google Analytics a lot and use the journey builder there, it's kind of taken a little bit off, I guess, what they've been using in there specifically. That's in private beta. It's for Marketing Hub Enterprise customers only. So if you have got Enterprise and you guys do want to sort of see how that looks specifically, just reach out to us, or if the private beta is not available, if you can just reach out to us or reply back to the Hug emails, we could try and get your portal ungated for you if it's not available. Finally, simple marketing automation. It's probably one of the biggest issues that we have, I guess, for HubSpot Marketing Starter customers, is that it has no automation whatsoever or one step. In this specifically, you're able to go ahead and just use some pre-built automations for, say, form submissions or something along those lines. Now that is currently live. If you go to the form, it's like the last tab to the right or second last tab to the right, and it will have new big green new button there that you can start using as well. So that's for HubSpot Marketing Hub Starter. For those that have got Pro and Enterprise, they have got, you've got the marketing automations and stuff like that there. So it shouldn't be a problem whatsoever. Ad conversions events, they were really talking about first-party data and not third-party data as well. So we're able to add conversion events specifically inside the ads tool, which I think is really good. It's now live on Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, and on-site events from Facebook and Google are coming soon. So this is available for Marketing Hub professionals customers as well, which is good. If you guys need some more information about that, you can head to the hubspot.com /new to find a little bit more information about that as well. Product recommendations in marketing emails. This is a big one for those that are using an e-commerce platform and also most probably Shopify, is that it will pull the products through, or if you've got products specifically that you're using there, and you can use product recommendations based on top sellers, latest products, or prices high to low, or you can set that manually. So you don't have to necessarily build out each of the blocks for that now. It'll build it out for you. This is in public beta, so you should be available in your portal. If you go to the place I'm going to tell you, I'm hanging everybody on with it, but I will tell you in just a moment. This is in private beta, a public beta, so you should be able to activate that for your portal. I'll tell you in just a second. Sales Hub and Service Hub as well. This is pretty cool. Now you can outbound call using the calling feature. You're now able to do inbound calling through HubSpot. Pretty huge, in my opinion, that you'll be able to do both calling in and out. Unfortunately, numbers are only available in the US, UK, and Canada as well. But when they do come to Australia, it's for Sales and Service Hub Starter, Professional, and Enterprise customers. I assume that you'll be able to pick a number and you'll be able to have a certain amount of minutes in and out specifically for that. I think this is just the taste of what's probably going to come in the next couple of years as well, where I think a lot of these third-party VoIP systems will actually start coming into the HubSpot CRM, recording it, transcribing it. It's going to be pretty amazing. So yeah. Custom goals. This is a big one. We've had goals in the past, specifically around sales. Now we're actually able to set sort of custom goals specific. So we can set a goal for anything within the system. This is a public beta as well, so it'll be available to Sales and Service Hub Enterprise customers. You're able to set goals specifically for individuals or teams. of any nature, and you'll be able to track that as well and make sure that the team member or the rep is completely in control and aware of where they're tracking and how things are going. Deal management. So this one's a bit of a broad one, but they're basically making improvements to the deal management overall. They basically said that over the next couple of months, they're going to be basically making it easier to manage and manage the deals inside there as well. Forecasting and deal management include the new goals app, team goals, and better integrated forecasting and deal management experiences for the reps. So if you have got a large rep team and you've got a large team of people sitting there inside using the system as well, expect to be able to have more granularity when it comes to forecasting for deals specifically. I would say with tickets as well when that comes out as well. All right, that's a bit of a wrap. I hope we don't get kicked out anytime soon. But that was a bit of a wrap, I guess, a really quick speed round, I guess, of everything that was announced today at the HubSpot with Humanity, the new CEO of HubSpot. I probably wanted to, now Geordie has made it here. Do you want to come in and say g'day, George? I guess we sort of managed to catch up with, g'day, George.
G'day, mate.
How are you, mate? Great to see you, mate.
Good to see you, mate. Great to be here.
We managed to have a chat. We'll sit down and just look at, I guess, Yamity's chat as well around what was probably some of the stuff that she went on about that she kind of, I guess, wants to sort of look forward, I guess, into the next sort of 12 months around, if you can remember, because it's so late.
It was the first thing in the morning. She spoke a lot about digital fatigue and everyone kind of being fatigued with, I guess, COVID-1 and moving home, Zoom calls, meetings, being online nonstop. So it was really talking about connection and building connections with your community and your clients and
contextual sentences without sort of reaching out generically, I think.
Yeah, really personalizing things, which that was really interesting. And then she led into what did they speak about second there?
Distrust.
Yeah.
I was about the community stuff as well around HubSpot's building communities and
well, they purchased.
They're coming out with.
They're trying to take on LinkedIn specifically, aren't they?
Yeah.
Seems to be, yeah.
Yeah. So they bought the URL connected.com.
Connect.com.
They bought the domain for a couple of mil.
I'm going to say a lot.
Yeah, they bought the domain and they basically want to create LinkedIn where they want to do the things that LinkedIn hasn't progressed over and done in such a long period of time and make it a little bit more usable for, what did he say? It wasn't really about where you went to school or where you went to work, but it's more a professional platform that people can talk professionally about. So quite the opposite of what it would be rather than a Facebook.
Yeah.
And then there was the disconnect around, well, maybe you can tell us actually. What was it?
The distrust.
Disconnect.
And Damesh was talking about being in a community because otherwise you're like singled out and you would.
That's right.
That's right.
Introvert.
Yeah, the introvert guy. Yeah, I think he was sort of saying that when we ever have problems and look for inspiration, we always go to like groups and groups of people. For example, a hug is a really good example of like when you want to look for inspiration, you go to people that are doing much the same thing to have a community and talk about that. So I guess that's a lot around what they want to do with the improvements with HubSpot, but also purchasing connect.com as well and making sure that sort of it works hand in hand with the HubSpot CRM as well. Did you catch anything else? I think
we saw a really good chat about email marketing, and I can't remember what the company was that this guy had come from, but he had 10 tips that were unreal. We can probably share a couple of them. I've wrote them all down. I've got them all on my phone.
I think one of them was that if you use the word tomorrow in your subject line, the open rate is 28% more likely to be opened.
So instead of saying like, what time is it in Australia? It's Thursday there. So instead of you guys saying like Friday, you would say tomorrow in your subject line. It was, close to 28% there.
Yeah.
Big thing was landing pages as well. And that's the one thing I know you always have spoken about is not having navigation. And it was something like 220% or something. More likely to convert on a page that doesn't have a navigation versus one that does have a navigation. That was really good. I really enjoyed that one.
We will share those tips. He's got them on his phone.
Yeah, I've got them on my notes on my phone.
Yeah.
Using the GIFs and using the word most and first in the subject line.
Using GIFs in emails is a big one.
Animated GIFs, yeah.
Animated GIFs is better. You should we use it in our emails
Yeah.
a lot. And then what is it?
Using the word first and most.
First
in
and
the
most.
Subject line.
Yeah. Well, we've
Oh,
got
yeah,
it
I've
here.
got 'em.
So yeah, you've written a novel here.
I've got them all written down.
If someone goes 30 days without opening an email, 70% of them won't open an email ever again.
So they talk about doing re-engagement. And so I think a lot of people think about re-engagement. It's like, 60, 90 days down the road. If they haven't engaged with your emails, then start re-engaging then. But his big thing was after that 30 days, 70% of them will drop off and you'll never see them again. So do it earlier than that.
Go
That
hard.
was really cool.
Be a pest.
Yeah.
It was like dating, he said. If they don't touch base after 30 days, they're gone.
There we go. Cool. All right. Well, I mean, that's a bit of a wrap. I mean, this is only the first day I think we've been here. So we've got a whole bunch more stuff and we're sharing a whole bunch of stuff on our Instagram account. So handles nbh.co. We've got stories and things like that as well. I think we're pretty close. I mean, we're cutting it a bit short here with a 45 minutes go, but I've got some security circling here now. We actually asked permission. We couldn't get down there, but we are up in here as well, in this top area. But we've got a lot of people pointing at us. We did ask for permission. We promised we did ask for permission. But we'll wrap it up here now. It's coming on 10 o'clock, and it's probably coming up close to lunchtime anyway. Before I get I'm now in jail in Boston. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll share those tips for the email ones that we've got through. We'll also share the slide deck. Also, if you head through to hubspot.com/new. Plus, also, I will tell you how to get the beta if you don't know as well. If you go up to, yeah, if you can hold that. Sorry, the camera's our makeshift camera is falling off here. If you go up to the very top where your face is and click on it and go to product updates. So if you click on product updates, on the left-hand side at the very bottom, you'll see betas. If you click on beta, you'll have a list of all of the betas that you can enroll yourself or your team into. Now, any of the stuff that we went through just before that had public beta, you'll have access to it. My recommendation is, depending on what you want to do, probably ungate it for yourself first to have a bit of a play with it. Worst case, you can ungate it for everybody in your system, and then once it goes public, it'll just stay where it is. Again, be careful with betas as well. They don't guarantee that they will happen, and things will change as well. But if you head up to your face, product updates, and then on the left-hand side at the very bottom, should be a green thing that says new. If you click on that, you'll be able to see all the betas that you can enroll your portal for, some of which are actually here today in that list as well. So, done a lot of talking, 50 minutes of talking. My throat hurts. It's been a long day. But so what we'll do, a few things to recap is that we've got SMS. Do you want to? Okay, I'll show you the setup after we turn around here. We've got the SMS. So using SMS for marketing and sales, that's coming up in October as well. And then second to that as well, we'll send you through the slide deck. And we'll also send through the, yes, we'll get a copy of those slides for sure. We'll get an email out as soon as the video goes up. And also we'll send through those email tips as well. We'll see if we can't actually potentially try and get that slide deck or something, but we'll send through those tips as well. And I think that's about it. And the recording will go up as well, and we'll send a recording. So if you want to send this video to anybody, then you can do as well. All right, so we can have a look and see what our setup is like at the moment. So this is our setup. We've got a little paint tin here. And then we've got everyone at the back here with a little laptop. And then basically we've got all of this behind us here as well, which is pretty cool. So, and we've got a whole bunch of sticky tape sticking this onto the top here. So this is the new feature with the iPhone, using the iPhone for the actual camera. So want to thank you guys for, I guess, tuning in and listening to us, go on about this. We're going to be here for the next couple of days as well. So yeah, follow us on Instagram and we'll give you all of the updates. As always, if you've got any questions or you want to know a little bit more about what's going on here for the next couple of days, make sure you reply back to the email. We'll make sure we get that information to you. Before I go, I've got some sad news as well. Cam, who has been running the Hugs, either that side or whatnot, unfortunately, fortunately for him, but unfortunately for us, he's making a big step and going over to Canada to go snowboarding and go live his best life as well. Cam's been a really, really big part of neighborhood for the last few months or few years as well. He's been amazing at putting together the video content, putting together everything for the hugs, and manning the chats as well. I just want to say a big thank you to Cam, and I guess will be gladly missed. Cam, you've been an amazing for the role as well and putting this all together, and we'll miss you greatly. But good luck in Canada snowboarding and having a good time over there. But big thank you from all of us, Cam, and also from everyone at the HubSpot user group in Brisbane too. So with that, it probably might be a good idea at 10 o'clock to go ahead and have a beer. And go celebrate the first day of HubSpot. We'll probably go live on our Instagram as well. But thank you again for tuning in, and also catch you later, Cam. I'll see you when we get back. But thank you. This is the last hug that Cam will be involved with. So good luck, mate. And I will see you soon. It's time for a beer. Catch you later. Bye.